forget my name. It's kind of right here on my shirt. So, yeah, Christmas is on us, guys. I mean, shit, yesterday I got my stockings, man. My family gave it to me. I was super stoked. You all excited? Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, mine have pink bows on them. They're more like fishnets, really, but they're pretty sick. So, I'm gonna go to a warmer place. This is mid-July. This is a story right here. So, there's this place in Brookings. If you go up Azalea Park and you drive up the hill, it's a big park. It's a big campground, and we go there all the time whenever we're in town. And it's my great-grandma's birthday. She was 93 at the time. She's still alive. She's like 96 or something. So it was a few years ago. So we're just hanging around, you know, it's Grandma's birthday, you know, she's 90-something. We're celebrating the fact that she somehow managed to not croak this year. And so we're all sitting around, we decided to barbecue. She wanted to barbecue, and we made some cake or whatever, and we're sitting there, and it's a campground, so we're thinking, like, there's a lot of people here, we better keep it down. Like, our family's pretty loud, so. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we just hear, oh no, and we're like, okay. It's like 2 in the afternoon. You shouldn't be hearing something like that. And I'm looking at my dad, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? My dad's like, I don't know, dude, that's crazy. It's like, sounds like it's right there. And my grandma was sitting behind us, and we had no idea, but the back legs of her chair had sunk into the mud, and she was just slow rolling back, like about to fall. And she's just screaming like her house was on fire. And I'm like, God damn, that guy's getting it at 2 in the afternoon. And she finally says a name, and I'm like, whoo, I have a pretty uncommon name. How does she know my name? And we look over, and Grandma just hits the ground. Like, you know that commercial where, like, Van Damme does the splits on the RVs? Like, that music was playing in my head in slow motion as my grandma was just falling down. So I'm against child abuse. I mean, I don't think you should hit your kids. But I'm all for hitting demons. And I think there's a distinct difference. So I worked at Winco, so I know what I'm talking about. But I was a senior in high school when this happened. And I was about, I don't know, I think I was almost 18. I turned 18 in May, which sucked. So I was like 18 after everybody else was 18. But we're sitting there, and I had a shitty day. I woke up late. I didn't get a shower. I missed my freaking first gym class at 7 a.m. And it was my football one, so I had to do extra shit at the end of practice or whatever. And I was pretty pissed off, and I was wearing a white shirt. And a freshman dipped a tater tot in ketchup and threw it at me. Just hit me right in the square, like right in the middle of my back. Now, when I'm sitting down, and you don't know how big I am. I look pretty small. And this kid hit me right in the back, just bam. I'm like, oh, hell no, what was that? My buddy's like, dude, don't freak out. Tater tot dipped in ketchup, threw it at your back. And I'm like, which one? And he goes, the smallest one at that other table. And I'm like, why would you choose me? Like, how fucking dumb do you have to be to target the one dude in the cafeteria that's pissed off and fucking giant? So he walks over, and I'm just kind of look over at him, like I'm glaring at him the whole time. My friends are trying to convince him to get the fuck away. Like, just, it's the reverse of the Jurassic Park scene, like, don't move. They're like, get the move. And this cocky-ass little football player that hasn't even started yet, he's all, so yeah, man, sorry, my tater tot kind of slipped out of my hand. And I'm just glaring at him still, like trying to burn a hole through the front of his face. And he's like, sorry, man. He's like, yeah, it tends to happen when you got freaking good quarterback arm like mine. And I'm like, I was like, I don't think you realize this, but, and I stood up. And, like, it's almost like he saw, like, the shadow coming from, like, an airship, because he's just slowly looking up, like, And he realized he had fucked up. I was like, what you don't realize is I'm huge. And he goes, I'm so sorry, dude. He's like, I was just about to ask you, I'm going to go get you some napkins, get them wet and stuff. I'll come over, I'll wipe off your back and everything. And I was like, I think it'd be smart if you did that, because if you didn't, I was planning on making you look like the tater tot dipped in ketchup. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I was going to stomp your ass into the ground until you couldn't breathe anymore. I'm not a mean guy. I was really pissed off. But, no, back to, like, hitting kids and stuff, and that's not being okay, and hitting demons being the reverse effect. So if you work at a grocery store, you probably know what I mean. Like the moms that just like pretend not to hear their kids. And their kids are just like, mommy, 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 mommy. But all I hear is, because they're all demons. Like, they're fucking assholes. So this kid one time, it happens to be right next to the Can Ale, aisle 5 in Winco. It also happens to be the aisle where there's a bunch of glass jars of pickles and glass things of like vinegar and everything else. And this kid asks his mom, he goes, Mom, can I have some candy? And she goes, no. And he starts pissing and moaning. And they finally come back down the aisle and he's like, I'll show you. And he starts grabbing jars and throwing them on the ground and just shattering them. And I was in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm in my uniform. I can't hit him. I'm praying his mom hits him. So she never did, and it was kind of frustrating. But from that point on, I decided that if I would ever open up a grocery store, my main slogan would be, take your gamble, be an asshole. Because one day a month, my employees would be allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do to you if you were an asshole. Like if you walked in and you're just like, excuse me, can I speak to the manager? You could just stiff arm him. And I'd be a cool boss too, because I'd make it like 2 of the months, it'd be like the last day and then the very first day the next month. So some asshole could come in and be like, oh, I saw him get knocked out, I'm not gonna do anything. And they come in the next month and be like, yo, what's up, bitches? And you just knock them out. It's like, I got you. Double negative. But I'd have a badass store too, because it'd sell everything, like a little bit of everything. But like when we were out, if like people asked if we had any more in the back, I'd be like, I know we don't have any more in the back because it'd be here. Like that's the most frustrating part about your job. Is like when you work in the grocery store at nights, your whole job is to bring everything from the back out onto the sales floor. So when there's not anything on the sales floor, we didn't find it in the back because it's not there. So when you ask me, hey, is there anything in the back? And I tell you no, and you're like, well, you didn't even look. It's like, I've been doing this for 8 hours, and no, it's not in the back. But people don't understand that. And another thing I hate is when somebody says to their kids after they break something, oh, they get paid to clean that up. It's like, we get paid regardless. If you actually cleaned it up for us, we would still get the money for you doing it. Like, quit being an asshole and just tell your kids you're an asshole and you're just gonna let the other guy do it. So like, own your you shit your bed, lay in it, okay? Don't pawn it off on me.
Are you a comedian?
No, not at all. Actually, I just stand up here and talk. I'm more of a whiner. That was my first heckler. That's cool.
You play guitar or any instruments?
Not well. I can strum a guitar. I just can't make music out of it.
You're just a talker.
Yeah, just a talker. I piss and moan about my life and how it sucks and people laugh. I don't know why they laugh. I'm not being a comedian. It just sucks.
Yeah, you listen to Rodney Carrington or Glenn Beck.
I know of them. My favorite is Patrice O'Neill, rest his soul. He was funny.
Or the late Tim Wilson, he was funny too.
George Carlin, all the greats, not like me. But, no, we'll end off with a Christmas story. So, my nephew was about 2 at the time, and he really wanted a puppy, but he lived with us where we couldn't have dogs, and he couldn't understand why Santa wouldn't bring him a puppy every year. And this year came, and, like, I'm an asshole, so I took a stuffed dog, and I wrapped it up and made it look like a dog, and, like, fucking broke his heart. He thought that Santa had brought him a dog wrapped up, and he's like, how is he breathing? And I'm like, well, you didn't say alive, you just wanted a dog. And all right, thank you guys.